Lab Addicts Music Group. Lab Addicts Music Group.
Goody, what's goody? Good.
Lab Addicts Music Group.
And this is another edition of Dope Conversations with Maas. I hope everyone had a great hump day. I have not left out of my house today. I just thought about that. Like, I haven't even been outside the house today. It's been a busy day. But we got to give thanks to the Most High for allowing us to see another day, see another sunrise, see another sunset, and another chance for us to love on the people who we cherish. I miss all my people. I know it's been sporadic, but yeah, I'm here with y'all. Last night's show, I didn't really get too many views last night, but people that was there, we had a good time last night. But tonight's conversation: are we safe? Are we really safe? And the reason I say that is I thought the microphone was on. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I had cut it on. I guess it went off because I didn't have it in my hand. But before we go any further, we got to give thanks to the Most High for allowing us to see another day, see another
Can y'all hear me now? I'm not sure what's going on. I just charged this mic up, but this one is cool. This one is cool. Now, not the short bus. I'm not sure what was going on with that mic. I just charged it up, but yeah. I'm back. I'm back. But yeah, with everything that's going on today, the weather, China, Russia, and BRICS, who are all coming at the US, terrorism, and just the domestic stuff that goes on a daily basis. Are we safe? Does the government matter? Does the government care? Do what we think as people, does that matter? I want to know what you all think. Are we safe? And does the government even care? I mean, crazy stuff has been happening with the weather. We had the scare. They thought that we were going to have the first hurricane of the year, but it came up to North Carolina and then it went out into the Atlantic. We dodged the bullet because it was a very, very big hurricane. And there was some funny stuff that was going on around that because I watch a lot of videos and I don't really talk about them too much on the show because we're talking about other topics, but there's some crazy, weird stuff going on out here. And when I say being safe, I'm not just talking about guns and violence and stuff like that because that has had an uptick as well. There's a lot of racists that are walking around poking their chests out, saying different things. And it's causing a lot of drama. A lot of people getting knocked out. It's a lot of people getting hands put on them for saying stuff that a couple years ago we just wouldn't have seen things like that. I apologize about the microphones, but yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that mic, but this mic is good. There was a dust storm either earlier today, or yesterday afternoon. There was a dust storm in Arizona. I think it was Phoenix, but there was a dust storm and you could see dust from horizon to horizon. And the dust storm took over the city. A dust storm. We haven't heard about dust storms since the Dust Bowls across the plains back in the early 1900s. But we are having dust storms now. Is the government controlling the weather? What do y'all think about that? Is the government controlling the weather? And then we had another mass shooting today, this time at a Catholic school where the shooter shot children that were praying during mass after he barricaded the doors so they couldn't get out. Like I said, I haven't been out the house today. Will more and more people start staying in the house as opposed to going outside and subjecting themselves to God knows what or who? If Donald Trump was really promoting safety, he would deploy the National Guard to all those red states, cities that have high crime numbers. A lot of things are done for political purposes. Donald Trump is attempting to make it look like Democratic ran states and Democratic ran cities are incapable of leading themselves, while the red control states are more numerous in their numbers of violent crimes than the blue states that he's been targeting. With Donald Trump, it's always about politics. It's never about the people. Are we safe? Are we safe? Will there be a mass? I mean, 2 children shot, 15 people injured. Two children dead. I apologize. 2 children dead, 15 children injured. Bud files. Epstein files have popped back up in the news. Shooter fires on praying students between church windows in Minneapolis, Minnesota today. And Donald Trump has started a firing spree. He fired the CDC director today. She's only been in her job a couple weeks. Fired her today. He also fired another lady, one of the Federal Reserve delegates, one of the main people at the Federal Reserve, black woman. He fired her 2 days ago. Do you feel safe in Trump's America? People are getting away with murder. Some neighborhoods, police don't even show up when police are called. Some neighborhoods, the person that called the police gets killed. Are we safe? Do you feel safe? Where policing isn't policing. Policing is tied to politics. They've said that Donald Trump went in and cleaned up Washington, D.C., but Washington, D.C. wasn't really in a bad state before the National Guard came into Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. was having one of the lowest crime rates in years in Washington, D.C. They were having weeks where there were no murders. Now, coming from me, I lived in D.C. for 18 years. I'm not a lifelong. The 18 years that I was in D.C., people were getting killed on a daily basis. I'm not going to say crime was bad. Crime is bad. It's relatively bad everywhere when you have people that don't have means to make money. People are going to rob, steal, cut, and shoot. And there's going to be more of that as time goes by and AI takes more and more jobs. You have some companies that are coming out with real big announcements where they're hiring lots of people. I think GE came out and said that they're have a new $1 billion facility that's going to provide 2,500 jobs or something like that. So there are companies that are coming out trying to change things, but lots of people are still losing their jobs. We just saw where I'm in Cincinnati, where the world headquarters of Kroger's is located, and there were 1,000 people in Cincinnati, Ohio, that lost their jobs today in the Kroger layoffs. A 1,000 people just lost their jobs today working for Kroger. When Kroger just came out about a month ago and said that their revenue is up $1 billion because of the revenue that they have made off of selling your information that they gather when you put your phone number in to get those discounts. There really aren't discounts right now. Just think about that. You can't make money off of your personal information, but Kroger's made $1 billion, which is 33% of the entire revenue of Kroger's. So 1/3 of the money that the Kroger Corporation makes comes from selling your personal information that you can't make money off of. Think about that. Think about that. 1/3 of Kroger's revenue comes from selling your personal information. Now, some places don't have Kroger's. I'm pretty sure that I think they're subsidiaries of grocery stores that Kroger's owns. Now, even though they laid out that 1,000 people, there's a brand new Kroger's that's about to be built right around the corner from where I live at. Which is weird because the Kroger's that they're building will be approximately about a mile and a half away from the Kroger marketplace. Now, I'm not saying that it's wrong because those people in that area, they deserve to have a grocery store in their neighborhood. Now, the place where they're putting it, it was once a grocery store, and then they was sold to some furniture flooring place. And now Kroger's just came in. They have bought their property, and they're going to be opening a new Kroger's in Covington, Kentucky. Wow, 1,000 people lost their jobs today. We've already talked about the 300,000 black women that lost their jobs since the beginning of April to now. 300,000 black women have lost their jobs. It's not going to change. Hey, Dark Star, how you been? Long time no see. Things are changing. Degrees are being devalued. Higher education is being devalued. Donald Trump is attacking higher institutions of higher learning. Tariffs have made it where when you go to the grocery store, there would be times where all the big carts would be gone in the grocery store. Now, when you go in the grocery store, those little half carts, those little half carts they have, those are all gone now because nobody wants the big baskets. Because when you get the big bass cart, you spend a lot of money. The little baskets, the little bass carts, the half ones with the little container on the bottom, yeah, everybody wants the little bass cart at the grocery store now. People don't want the big carts. As time went, those the big carts, they got bigger and bigger, so you could put more and more groceries in there. Nobody wants those now. You spend too much money when you have the big bass cart. Yeah, you all know what I'm talking about. You go to the grocery store, there will be times you couldn't get a big bass cart. There will always be the little carts available Now you can't get the little ones because groceries are so high. Everybody I see at the we're all of us, me included, we're all calculating what we're buying. All of the cakes and the pies and the donuts, nobody's touching that stuff right now. Nobody is touching that stuff right now. Fruits and vegetables are so high right now. I remember just 6 months ago, I could get a, a pound of ginger for about 79 cents a pound. Ginger is almost $4 a pound now. A root is almost $4 a pound now. Prices are crazy. Then, I didn't even put it in there. The food that we are eating. Are we safe? Are we safe? Are we even safe to eat? I saw a video, a lady was cooking eggs and the eggs were fake. How do you make fake eggs? States are banning the use of 3D printed meat. You can create meat with a 3D printer. And the government is allowing companies to sell that to you. There's only 7 states out of the 50 that have banned 3D printed meat. Only 7 out of 50. Only 7 states have banned the use of lab grown and 3D printed meat. Think about that, people. Think about that. Oh, don't say that, Dark Star. Don't say that, Dark Star. Dark Star said it's more than 300,000. They are not telling the truth. It's more than 300,000 black women. Talked to a woman at unemployment, and she said it's bad in Texas. It's bad all over, Dark Star. Damn, Dark Star. Dark Star says she was one of the 300, and it's hard to. I was telling people I have not, and I stopped looking. I have not had the W-2 job in a year and a half, and by the grace of God, I have been able to make it by the skin of my chinny chin to pay these bills. It's been hard. It's been hard, you all. Believe me, it's been hard. Not having a income coming in on a regular basis for a year and a half and nothing has been cut off is very, very hard. Really. There have been people that have told me to tell people to hit you on the Cash App, to put your Cash App out there so people can hit you. And even though, that would be a good thing, I don't know. I just have not been able to bring myself to be on here saying, hit me on the Cash App. So, Dark Star, believe me, I understand exactly where you're coming from. It is so hard to find a job now because these companies, they didn't have to have a reason to let you go, and they had, but now it's even worse. It's even worse. It's even worse. And being that I've been an HR professional for over 20 years, I see things at a higher level than most. Now, I've been one to really, really refrain from really giving my personal opinion on some things because some things that I may say may be counter HR or politically correct. But now I don't really care because I will be one to say this. I really doubt that I will ever work another W 2 job. That's one of the reasons that I'm on YouTube is because I'm trying to create my own personal name, image, and likeness money. I'm trying to create my own NIL. And YouTube was a part of my strategy. When I started doing this 2 years ago. That was my strategy was to YouTube was going to be the catalyst to my name, image, and likeness program and how I was going to make money off of myself. Now I'm almost to monetization on YouTube, but YouTube is playing. They're making it so hard for you to get monetized now, unless you do something stupid and you go viral. But I refuse to do that. I think that there are people out here that want to have adult conversations, and you don't have to be on here buck dancing and twerking to get people to come and have a conversation with you. I'm a firm believer of there are people out there that aren't looking for clickbait, that really want to have fruitful conversations that lead to answers as opposed to some of the stuff and I'm guilty of it myself of some of the things that I watch on YouTube, but time is of an essence now. Are we safe? And how some other people look at safety is a lot different than how some other people look at safety. Because where some individuals have the police that are protecting and serving, some individuals, the police are policing. So the police coming to the neighborhood is not seen in a positive light by everyone. And everything that Donald Trump does has racial undertones to it. And I think that that is done purposely. It's done purposely. We 30 minutes into the show. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Quit playing with me. Hit the like button. Do you all feel like we are with everything? And I'm not just saying gun violence and things of that nature. Are we safe? You can't even trust the food. You can't trust the food. Watermelons are exploding. Fake rice is in the food supply. Vegetables are fake. Meat is lab grown and 3D printed. And there are people that say that we are eating people, which would be blasphemy. If human remains have been introduced into the food supply, that would be blasphemy. To unknowingly make people cannibals would be diabolical. That would be diabolical. And if you haven't heard about this thing that they're saying that people are eating people, I think it's called solvent green. Hold on. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to give you the information so that you can do your own research because we Soylent Green, a new Soylent Green. And we're going to talk about Soylent Green tonight. Soylent Green. If you haven't heard about Soylent Green, write that down. You need to do your research. If you have not heard about Soylent Green, you need to catch up. Because if what they say, sorry, if what they say about Soylent Green is true, then human remains have been introduced into the food supply. Which would be diabolical to unknowingly make people cannibals. We're going to talk about that. Let me look it up. Soylent Green. When you look it up, they try to put it as it's a movie. But we're not talking about that Soylent Green. Not Soylent Green, the movie, but Soylent Green, the food. Soylent Green is a set of meal replacement products in powder, shake, and bar form produced by Soylent Nutrition. The company was founded in 2013 and is headquartered in Los Angeles, California. So, I need to look up conspiracies. Yeah. So basically, they are saying that Soylent Green has introduced human remains into the food pool that we consume on a daily basis. This goes back to the 60s. And there have been people saying that where are all the dead bodies going? And another thing that I wanted to talk about, I've never heard anybody talk about this, but we hear all this talk about plasma this, plasma that, the government is doing plasma bombs, plasma. Is that what they were using those plasma centers that were in lower income neighborhoods where they even advertised to college students, you can come in here and we'll give you $60 if you let us take the plasma out of your body. Now, if you all don't know, plasma, when you give blood, the blood separates and the plasma is a liquid that is on top of your blood and it can be taken out of the blood. And there were a lot of plasma centers all across America in low income neighborhoods and by colleges that paid for plasma, where it was like donating blood, where you would go to this place. I never did it, but I have friends that did it, and I have friends that worked at them, where basically you would go, like it's like a blood bank. You go in there, you give your blood, but you have to be there for a couple of hours because basically they take the plasma out of your blood and put the blood back in you. They just need the plasma. They don't need your blood, which is crazy. Darkstar said China is an example of everything. Yes. Some of the first videos that I saw about fake food creation were showing Chinese people creating fake lettuce, fake eggs, and fake rice. I've seen these videos. China was the first place that I saw where these videos were coming, that they were showing fake rice that was being produced, that was basically some type of plastic, fake lettuce that they were I don't know what it was they were making it from, but it was like some liquid stuff, and they would pour it in water, and then they would do something with their hands, and the next thing you know, you got a fake head of lettuce in your hand, and it looked just like lettuce. Now we have watermelons exploding. The rice is plastic. Yes, Darkstar. I've seen these videos. And they put it in big bags, like those big bags of rice, and it looks just like rice. How is all this fake food getting into? But another thing is, I think that it goes back to Monsanto, because when Monsanto went to the farmers and they told them they wanted them to use Monsanto seeds, they took all the other seeds away. Now, if you've heard anything about Monsanto, you know that after 3 or 4 crops of the Monsanto seeds, they can't produce anything else on that land. Is the food supply that we are seeing directly correlated to the Monsanto seeds that they are forcing farmers to use? Do you all still eat out a lot? I don't eat out a lot anymore. You don't know what they're giving you. I saw a video the other day. Somebody had a ramen bowl, and it had 2 baby birds in the rice bowl. 2 dead baby birds in the rice bowl, in the ramen bowl. I'm telling y'all, then you go to the store. They have some stores. I'm not gonna say what store I was in, but they have these stores now where you can buy $5 things of 8 hamburger patties. What is the grade of that meat? They have these packages of meat where you can get a thing of chicken wings for $10. I am scared of some of the food that is out here now. You don't know what you're eating. You don't know if it's real. You remember those fruit bowls that every black family had? Was be like some grapes. They was plastic grapes. And then you had like an apple. It was like some type of material. Like the fake fruit. And I used to fake like I was in my family. It's not real. Don't put that in your mouth. Now the food is really fake. If you black and you grew up in the 70s, you know what fruit bowl I'm talking about. We had them plastic fake grapes, the plastic banana, fake apple, fake orange. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't make me think I'm the only one. But yes, are we safe? Now they're saying the doctors, the Hippocratic oath is basically they can't tell you really what helps you. If you ever go to the doctor and you talk about natural remedies and having a holistic approach, they won't even talk to you about that. They have to get you on medication. Don't you think that's weird that the doctors are not allowed to talk about holistic approaches, natural remedies, beetroot? These are things that they don't tell you about. Beets are they got beet powder. Why would I want a beet powder when I can go to the grocery store and buy a beet? Are we safe? Is the food safe? Are we safe from man-made weather? That's why they killed Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi. I love Dr. Sebi. I used to look at all his videos. Natural. He claimed that he had cured people from AIDS and herpes and cancer and other ailments, to the point where they took him to the Supreme Court and admitted that he was right. He brought people to the Supreme Court that had been diagnosed with AIDS, that had gone through his program and did not have AIDS anymore. He had people in his program that had herpes. And after they went through his regimen of natural holistic remedies, they didn't have herpes anymore. The Supreme Court had to admit that he was telling the truth. They don't publicize that. But yes, Dr. Sebi went up against the Supreme Court and won. And then they killed him. And then they killed him. I always ask people, before these companies, people got sick in ancient times. There was no Bayer aspirin and Tylenol and all these other pharmaceutical things that they say are remedies. People were getting sick and getting well with natural remedies since the beginning of time. Why do they hide that from us? Lots of, the government's job is to control the population by whatever means. The government's main purpose is to control the population by any means necessary. by any means necessary. The government's job is to control the population. Darkstar said, we have a small group that grows our own food on a friend's farm. We also freeze dry some of it for the winter. Yes. We are getting to the point where we have to provide our own subsistence. We can't trust the subsistence that the government regulates. We have to regulate our own food intake. And you do that by buying a cow and only eating the meat from that one cow. There are farms now where you can go and buy a cow and they will butcher the meat up and give it to you throughout the year, where all of your meat source is coming from one cow, not a mixture of everything. No. They have places where you can go and get farm fed chickens. They grow up in a humane environment without all these type of things to make them big. And you know them when you go, y'all know you go to the gas station, you go to the gas station to get some gas and they make wings and and them wings is big like a person's hand. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We are going to have to start providing our own means of subsistence. Can we trust the water? They just came out the other day and said that tap water, you need to, no matter what, if you use tap water, you need to boil it before you drink it. Any tap water. Instead of some type of amoeba that can get into the water and cause havoc on humans. Are we safe? Can we trust the food supply? Can we trust the water supply? You know, we're talking guns and things like that, but yeah, there's other means of ways that we can be hurt unknowingly. Unknowingly. Yes. Darkstar knows what I'm talking about. Buy organic seeds if you grow. And yeah, her friend raises Texas Longhorn. We buy into buying, yes. That way your meat is coming from one animal. Now, we're not even going to talk about pork because people going to eat what they're going to eat. But if you eat pork, you need to do some studies. You need to do some. If you are still a person that still consumes pork, do your own research. It's the only thing I can say. And it's not religion or anything like that. But if you eat pork, do your own research. Maybe you won't eat it no more. A lot of people are saying that biblical prophecies are happening, and that we are living in the last days. Now, I've read the Bible, and I used to have to read scriptures and memorize verses and all that stuff when I was growing up. Can't say that I'm really, really into the church right now. I have my own. I don't need an intermediary. I have my own relationship with God. I talk to God directly. I don't need to talk to God through a preacher or through the deacon or any of those types of things. So I'm not saying that I reject organized religion, but I have my own relationship with God because that preacher could be sinning and he could be leading you into hell too. If I'm going to go to hell, I'm going to go to hell on my own terms, not by the way of a person that is teaching me. So that's another conversation. We're not going to talk about that, but yeah. Are we safe? See, Darkstar is a wealth of info. Buy Berkeley water filters to filter your water. YWG, we got YWG in here tonight. YWG, what did you grow? What was harvest? What was your harvest this year in your garden? You have a very, very large garden. I know you got a big haul of peaches. What did you grow this year that's going to get you through the winter? What's the crops that you grew this year, YWG? If y'all don't know, YWG has a channel, Your Weekend Gardener, where he basically talks about his garden. He shows you the things that he has grown throughout the year. He's got a new channel that he's going to be doing called YWG After Dark. And on YWG After Dark, he's going to look at some of the fallacies that are being portrayed out here about gardening and things that you can grow that aren't really natural. He's going to be, so yeah, check out YWG if you want to learn about starting your own garden, or if you want to see some of the crazy stuff that he has seen on the internet and trying to find better ways to garden. So yeah, check out YWG. But yeah, YWG, what did you grow this year? What have you harvested in your garden this year that's going to get you through the winter? And I don't know if you are a person that your grandparents or your family or no one in your family group had a garden, I must tell you that home raised vegetables and fruits, there's no taste like it. There's no taste like fresh grown vegetables and fruits. My grandmother had an apple tree, a Granny Smith apple tree, as well as a peach tree in her backyard, as well as a garden. And I can tell you that I can tell you that food out of a garden in your backyard tastes completely different than the food that you get from the grocery store. It tastes much, much better. Darkstar says she has been a environmental health and safety professional for over 20 years. And she said, get with like-minded people to survive. Get with like-minded people to survive. We need to come up with different groups because some people are good at one thing and not good at another thing. So we got to group ourselves with people that have the same thinking, that have the same goals in life and surviving to be around. Okay, YWG said in his garden this year, he had tomatoes, peaches, watermelon, tomatillos, greens, broccoli, green beans, lettuce, peas, cabbage, and carrots. That's a good haul. That's a good haul. For a backyard garden, that's a great haul. So yeah, we have to start thinking strategically. We have to start thinking strategically. We have to align ourselves with like-minded individuals. That is a way to be safe. That is a way to be safe, to align yourself with like-minded individuals who have a plan for survival going forward. Because if you don't have a plan for survival, something is wrong because the world is changing. Yes. Dark Star started this a book called MAGS, MAGS, Mutual Assisted Groups. Get the book. I'm gonna have to get that book. Yeah, people, this is Adult Conversation with Maas, where we talk about topics that you're probably not going to see on other YouTube channels. This is not a clickbait channel. We talk about real topics. Now, sometimes, I lost 2 subscribers. I guess I had a couple ladies that was mad about yesterday's topic, but you can't get mad. Sometimes it's fun, and sometimes, it's more serious, but it's all learning. Can't get your panties in a bunch. We talk about real topics over here. You're not going to come over here and we're going to be over here buck dancing and break. Yeah, we're not doing that over here. I'm not doing it. I'm talking about real topics. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. These 2 years, don't get me wrong. I feel like I should be monetized by now. It's been a struggle because not everybody wants to talk about real life. Everybody wants to be caught up in some fantasy. I guess they just want to be a fantasy until the cataclysm comes and everybody's no. We have people out here that want to survive the cataclysm. And the way they're talking, survival strategies are going to be needed. There are people who think that Yellowstone Park is going to blow up sometimes in the near future. And they've already said that if the super volcano goes off, the way of living in America is going to change. We have to be prepared. We're coming up on 1 hour into the show. 1 hour into the show. I'm going to get that book, Dark Star. We're talking survival strategies tonight. Are we safe? Does it matter to the government? And what do we think about it? What do we think about it? What do you think about it? Are we at a point in time where we have to create our own safety? Is that where we're at now? Is that where we're at now? Anybody? I apologize if we're not talking. We're not buck dancing. We're not buck dancing and shucking and jiving. But time is of the essence. We don't have. There's enough YouTube channels on here buck dancing and shucking and jiving. You can go watch them. We forward moving people over here. People of all races. It's not just a black channel. I have friends of many, many nationalities, and we all convene here in Adult Conversation with Maas, and we come up with strategies for survival. All of my shows, regardless of what the topic is, even when I'm having my Friday night shows, the sex show, we're talking survival strategies. It's a different viewpoint. It's all about survival. Just know that when you come on this show, regardless of what we're talking about surviving. We're not talking about dying. This ain't that page. There's plenty of those pages for you. This page is for people who like to talk survival strategies and sometimes like to have fun doing it. Adult Conversations with Maas. If you want the kiddies don't get me wrong, I like Casanet. Yeah. I Show Speed. I like I Show Speed a little bit. I like I Show Speed more than Casanet. Yeah. And I am guilty of some of the stuff that I'm like, this is guilty pleasure. I like looking at ratchet stuff too. But it doesn't consume me. It doesn't consume me. And it doesn't consume me. check out my Facebook page, Maas Appeal. You can catch me on Facebook. I'm always posting something. We're always talking about different things that I post. Sometimes funny, sometimes serious. Always a topic to speak on. Check my Facebook page out. Food, transportation. We didn't even talk about all the plane crashes that have happened this year. Didn't even really get into that. But food, transportation, and dwelling. Those are three things that everyone has to do. Are we safe with the food we eat? Are we safe when we leave out of our house every day? Are we safe on the roadways? Are we safe when we go to big populated events? Is somebody going to try to kill 40,000 people at a football game, a baseball game, at a parade, at an outdoor concert? Are we safe? You can't have sex, AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia. Where is our safety? Are we safe? That's the question I have for everybody tonight. Are we safe? Are we safe? I don't know. Like I
Lab Addicts Music Group.
did not go out. Will more and more people be staying in the house because of safety concerns? I don't know. We're going to a really, really non-verbal communication type of society. Will people be relegated to staying in their houses, not coming outside, ordering DoorDash so they don't have to deal with the ills of society? Are we moving that way? Are we moving that way? Are you safe? Has this world changed to a point where safety
Lab Addicts Music Group.
isn't a given? Even with all the scientific ways, the technology
Lab Addicts Music Group.
that we have seen, as I tried to convey on tonight's thumbnail, with all of that access into people's lives, still can't stop a shooter. Still can't stop a terrorist bomb. Are we safe? Are we relegated to staying in the house to have total safety? And even that doesn't bring total safety. Pay attention to what's going on around you. This has been your boy Maas Appeal. This has been another edition of Conversation with Maas. Are we safe? Does it matter? What do you think? I hope I've given you something to think about that could benefit in your daily life. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Lab Addicts Music Group.